another new variant of COVID-19 is grabbing the attention of genetic researchers tonight. This one is called C12. It's popped up across Africa, South Africa, Asia, the Pacific as well. They say this one carried many of the same hallmarks as the alpha and beta variants. However, it's unclear at this point if this mutation is more dangerous. Joining us now to talk more about vaccines, variants, everything in between, Dr. Rahul Gupta from Hartford Healthcare St. Vincent's Medical Center. Doctor, let's first talk about the variant. Should we be concerned?
Well, with every variant, there is new risk, so we should definitely be concerned. Time to time, viruses are known to develop mutations and cause, which are called variants, of course. And right now, the most prevalent one is the Delta variant in our community. But the South African variant, which was initially started to, it came up in mid-May in South Africa, and now has been spreading in South Africa, is definitely of concern. CDC has been monitoring it. The major issue with this new variant is essentially the transmissibility, and that kind of came because of increased ability to mutate. This particular variant mutates very rapidly, so definitely there is a reason for concern. It is being watched very carefully.
Yeah, and you certainly don't like to hear that. Now, I guess the good news is vaccination rates in the U.S., they are on the rise. What, about 900,000 shots per day being administered. What do you think has led to the spike, the Delta variant or back to school, etc.?
So Delta variant spike, if you would see the data that comes out from CDC and HSS, the spike essentially is in the non-vaccinated population. Most of the patients are non-vaccinated, and that does include the children, who were not able to get vaccination or were not qualified to get vaccination, and the unvaccinated adult population. There are breakthrough cases, no denying that, but they are very few and far in between. So the spike essentially is because of the unvaccinated population. And also we have to consider that, some of the people who got vaccination earlier in the timeline, their immunity might have, or their antibody levels could have gone down so much that they are no longer protected. That, and then fold on that, of course, the increased travel, more interactability, more interaction of people, gatherings, variability in mask wearing habits, I think all those do contribute to the increased spike in Delta variant.
Okay,
and so Delta itself is more twice as transmissible as the wild original virus. So that itself, the nature of the virus itself, is also very, also contributing factor.
Sure. So, people who are considering now getting vaccinated, they look at their options. They say, which one should I get? We just spoke about the antibody level study there, that Moderna is a little bit of an advantage over Pfizer, but we also know Pfizer is fully approved by the FDA right now. Moderna is not. Would you make a recommendation one way or the other?
So let's break this down in two ways. One is, the study which just came out yesterday, I believe, in JAMA, essentially looked at the antibody, titers developed after giving 2 doses of each vaccine, Moderna and Pfizer. And Moderna antibodies was almost twice as much as Pfizer, but it had its own caveats. It does not tell us whether they are more protective, because we know the efficacy of both the vaccines is about equal, or both of them are excellent vaccines. They're more than 90% effective. There are more questions that kind of arise than answers from this study, which basically is whether Moderna with higher antibody titers will protect us for a longer period of time, whether these antibodies are, neutralizing antibodies, which are the antibodies that we want. These are the, is this number all neutralizing antibodies? Those are the things that we want to find out. It also kind of raises the questions whether, one vaccine gives better protection against the variants than other. It should not, because they're kind of, to the same antigen. So But these are the questions that we have to look a little deeper into. So for now, take your vaccine. That is more important. Pfizer or Moderna doesn't matter. Get the vaccine so that we all can move forward.
Dr. Gupta, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.